I'm Katie O'Shea. I'm the director of curriculum of middle school and high school curriculum here at CodeHS, and I'll do a little bit of an introduction in just a moment. But wanted to make sure you all hopefully have the same expectation for this session, that the goal is really to help you all understand the new CodeHS courses and content releases that are coming this summer, and hopefully how they fit into your classrooms. We're super excited about the things that we're building and really excited to get them to you and then get your feedback. So our agenda for this session is we'll do introductions, and then I'm going to talk about two of the big courses that we're delivering this summer that are CodeHS courses that will be available to you all, and then a little bit about the AI content. So Jeremy alluded to some of this in his intro session this morning, if you were able to join that. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well here. So as I mentioned, I'm Katie O'Shea, director of middle school and high school curriculum at CodeHS. I started my career actually as a programmer, and through that process developed an interest in education and ed tech. I sort of made my way into education from there. I've worked in ed tech and in publishing and did some education consulting, and spent about 5 years working in a community college, which was all great experience. And now here at CodeHS, focused on curriculum development. Outside of work, I like hiking and travel and family and chocolate, and I probably should have been more specific because it's dark chocolate in particular. So that's me. Okay, so as I mentioned, coming this summer, we have Fundamentals of Cybersecurity. This is a course that some of you may be familiar with already, but if not, we'll dig in just a little bit. Game Design in Unity, another course that exists in some form in our catalog now, but this is sort of our new and improved version. And then AI content. So we'll start with Fundamentals of Cybersecurity. We're super excited about this course. I don't know, it is one of we have a Fundamentals of Cybersecurity course in our catalog right now. Maybe some of you are users already. It's a pretty popular course, but over the years, it's been out for a few years now. And certainly, the world keeps moving, cyber events keep happening, technology keeps changing. And so it was due for a refresh. And so that's what we have done. We have spent a number of months looking at that content, looking at feedback we've gotten from the course, from you all, and then figuring out how we can, make this course even better and refresh it so that it's modern and recent. So this new version will be coming out this summer. And it's a 1-year course intended to be, the full 2 semesters. There are no specific prereqs for this course. And it does, as I mentioned, it's intended to replace the current Fundamentals of Cybersecurity. The existing course is still, it's a fine course, but certainly if you've been in it, there are, articles that are linked and things like that that discuss cybersecurity incidents. But now those things are all starting to feel a bit dated. And so this really is intended to replace that existing course in the catalog. So if you've been using the old one, we'll look forward to you taking a look at the new one and hopefully integrating this new one in your classroom. Similar to the old one, students will learn foundational cybersecurity topics, including networking fundamentals, software security, system administration, and the basics of cryptography. And similar to the existing course, this is not a coding-focused course. It is really about cybersecurity concepts and practices and best practices. And it does integrate a little bit of SQL. So, a little bit of data and looking at security of data, and through that looking at SQL, but it's really not a code heavy course. And for those of you maybe in working in CTE, this course will be 100% aligned to the CompTIA IT Fundamental Certification. if you include the supplemental content that will be a part of the course offering. So the course by itself it's something, let's say like 85 or 90% there. There's last 10% we added as supplemental content. It's content that is not necessarily new. It should be familiar if you've been using the old course, but really trying to make this course a really solid entry point for cybersecurity, while also making sure that those of you who are looking for industry certifications from CompTIA in particular, this course will be aligned to that certification. So what's new with this course? Like I said, of course, the goal was to refresh the content overall, but as we did that, we did incorporate some additional standards. So if you've been a user of CodeHS for very long, you know that we expanded from high school content to middle school content and now elementary content. So as we've sort of bridged that gap and created more scaffolded experiences across K-12, some of the cyber content that was in the existing fundamentals of cybersecurity course, we have started to address in our middle school courses. So some of the digital citizenship concepts, some of the basic security concepts, some of that is available in our middle school courses. And so we don't want to have complete duplication of that learning content. So while the learning objectives are still covered in this new high school course, if you are taking some of that content in middle school, this will be a new experience. It will not be duplicated content. You may have had digital citizenship in 6th grade, but now as you're getting it again in high school, it's again, same learning objectives, but at a slightly higher level to address middle school or to address high school learning. And so as we moved some of that content and a deeper dive maybe into middle school and made space for some new standards to be addressed in high school, we are now covering advanced cryptography concepts in the fundamentals course, the OSI model, risk management, and vulnerability testing. So these are standards that are not currently in the existing fundamentals of cyber, but we've brought them into this new refreshed version. The other thing that we're super excited about for this course is we've integrated a lot of new activity formats. There's a variety of slide presentations and sort of resources on a scrolling web page with some embedded interactivity, and really just trying to make it a more engaging, baseline experience in the course itself. So some new activity formats. And then, as I mentioned, a lot of the content had become dated in our existing course, and so it's new and improved. The content that we have in this new version will have greater recency and hopefully greater relevancy for your students. And so the course overall is, while it covers, a very similar set of standards or learning objectives, overall, we're really excited about the way this course has turned out and look forward to giving you a chance to take a look. So I'll go briefly through the module list. In case you're familiar with our existing course, some of these topics will look familiar, but again, the content within them has been updated and refreshed. So cybersecurity and you, we are covering personal data collection, reliability of online information, cyber ethics and laws, personal data security, common cybersecurity terminology, strategies to equip individuals to navigate the digital landscape responsibly and securely. This is, sort of the real baseline content that starts oftentimes in middle school and carries through. But again, this will be looking at it from a slightly higher level, bit deeper. Cryptography covers the history of cryptography systems, motivation behind encryption, and basic systems. And then we've worked in projects into this course. So there is a project where students create an escape room. It can be digital or it can be physical, depending on which direction you as a teacher want to go or which direction you want your students to go. But there is a challenge to create a digital escape room or a physical escape room using 3 types of cryptographic puzzles. So hopefully engaging and kind of fun concept, and give students a chance to apply some of the knowledge that they're learning through this, the first couple modules. The course then moves to system administration. where we compare and contrast operating systems, explain the importance of application security. Students investigate security options, authentication, authorization, and work with basic and advanced command prompts. So for those of you who are teaching cyber now, these again are some core concepts that we are excited to cover, and really helping students learn some of the basics of kind of the underlying infrastructure of a lot of cybersecurity. IT concepts, covering structure and design of the internet and networks, the impact on network reliability, security of data, personal privacy, IT infrastructure, lots of physical elements of computing and networking, motherboards, RAM, router, port numbers, Ethernet, wireless devices, and then again, a project to apply these skills. So students in this case are exploring cybersecurity pathways and building skills needed, including things like communication. So while it's application of some of the tech skills, it's also integrating some of those important soft skills, communication skills that are important in cybersecurity careers as well. Data security covers common cybersecurity attack techniques, secure coding practices, and then a final project, which is the game of Risk. So students create a board game or a card game that helps players practice this identifying randomized security vulnerabilities and defenses. So again, trying to liven up the cybersecurity experience, give students some hands-on projects to practice with, and hopefully engaging them in topics that are relevant and something that we can help them care about these things. So for today, at least, there is a course you can join that has a bit of sample content. And so I'm going to give you a couple minutes actually to join this course. Lindsay is going to, if she hasn't already, share in the chat this link. Oops, sorry, to the course. And I'm pointing out here, this course also has content that we'll talk about throughout this whole session. So highlighting these first 4 modules in the course are the ones that are cyber focused. If you have a particular interest in cyber, take a look at these first 4. We're gonna give you 5 minutes. So I'm in Ohio. So 1:15 Eastern time, 12:15 Central time. From there, hopefully you can calculate your time zone. We'll give you 5 minutes to explore, poke around a bit in these cyber sections in particular. If you have questions, ideas, thoughts, post them in the chat or the Q&A, and then we'll come back and talk about the next course. All right. So hopefully you all had a chance to poke around. I've been looking at the chat here. Lots of good questions. So this course is, as somebody noted, available for middle school. It is something that, if you have advanced 8th graders, some, who are up for the challenge, it's intended for middle school, but certainly could be used at a lower level, and definitely available to all free and pro users. And I saw someone who was interested in knowing when this course would actually be released. And we don't have a hard date yet. It will be soon. It will certainly be in the summer. But for those of you who are chomping at the bit, we're also excited to get your feedback as well. And so we are hoping that for those of you who are interested in the course, you can get an early preview of pretty much the whole course right now. This is a course that's still in development, so you will see not every video is done yet, not every typo is fixed yet. So definitely this is a preview of a course that's still in development, but you can join this course, this class. I think Lindsay's putting the link in the chat. And you can get access to the full course. So again, we're doing this because we are looking for feedback. We would like teacher feedback. If you have been teaching cyber, if you're interested in teaching cyber, you just have a general interest in cyber, accessing this link will give you access to the full course. And as a part of giving you access, we are also, we'd like to capture your feedback officially. And so we would ask that if you're up for it and willing to help us out, you can, I didn't mean to click that, but yes, you can join the updated cyber feedback group. So it's a Google form. We're just asking for your email address so that we can primarily give you access to this feedback mechanism that's already built into our platform called the Feedback Star. And so with any course, or within any course item, the Feedback Star will become available to you to share your thoughts about that item. So if I switch over, you can see if I go into, let's see, an item here for cyber, the Feedback Star is integrated into this item. When I click it, it will prompt every time with this same form. So asking you to rate the item, opportunity to give feedback on the item. If you found issues that are easily categorized that fall into these, you can click that. And when you click submit, your feedback gets linked to this particular item. So if I submitted a comment here, it will be tied to this legal consequences item in the course, which is great because it gives us much more context for whatever it is that you're commenting on. And so if you, again, give us your email through this Google form, we will add you to the group that has access to the Feedback Star so that you can, at any point in the course, click and give feedback on a particular item. If you have feedback that is not item specific, I saw some, comments about the new CompTIA certification, things like that, that we have an eye on and, we're looking at as well. But certainly if you have comments that are sort of broader than any particular item, you can still use the Feedback Star. If it gets linked to the item, that's fine. We'll certainly be able to figure it out. The developers, so this is, again, course developers, will be monitoring the feedback that you submit and making updates, both in a kind of near-term way, because we do want to make sure that this course gets out sooner rather than later. So we'll look and try and prioritize as much as we can. But certainly you can continue to give feedback, through the summer into the fall, so that we can continue to capture feedback as you're using it live with your students. If there's more things that you find that are, you wish were different or somehow problematic, we always are looking for feedback, appreciate it when you give it to us, because we, of course, want to make the courses as good as they can be. So again, the links are in the chat, but just repeating them here to encourage you all to sign up to preview the full course if you're interested, and then get access to the Feedback Star. Okay, so next up is game development in Unity. I mentioned earlier that we have a course right now, a Unity course called Game Design in Unity. And this course, well, I don't want to jump ahead. Let's see. This course is intended to be a replacement for that course as well. It is a one-year course, so full 2 semesters worth of content. There are no specific prerequisites, but some prior exposure to coding concepts is recommended. The Unity platform doesn't live within CodeHS, so students will be moving between CodeHS and Unity to build games. And so just having a comfort level with some of the basics of coding and being able then to kind of negotiate the move between the two platforms, it will help smooth the process. But again, it's not a requirement. It does replace the current game design in Unity. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's new in this version. Students create interactive and visually engaging both 2D and 3D games through hands-on projects and challenges using the Unity game engine. And again, it's important to note for this course that Chromebooks are not, they don't support Unity. Unity has a download. You need a true PC of some sort to be able to run Unity. And so there is a tech prerequisite for the course, and the details of that are available in the course itself. It's more or less the same tech requirement as the current Unity course, but this Unity course, this new one that's coming out this summer, is using an updated version of Unity. So that may help. Oops. Okay, so what's new in this version? We've gotten a lot of feedback about the current Unity course. I did see a little bit of chatter about Unreal versus Unity, and we can address that a little bit. But for this version, if those of you who have been using the current version, I know hopefully you've experienced our wonderful support. I think I'm always impressed by our ability to help people who are, trying to maneuver through Unity and work in these platforms. And if you need support, it's there for you. But through that process of seeing what kinds of questions have come in through the support chat over the last couple years, we have integrated a lot more support into the course itself. So there are a lot of video walkthroughs figuring out, like, how do you use this in Unity? How should it look when I'm doing this? Where do I click to find that? And so lots more video support built into the course, which hopefully will make it a much smoother process for everybody. This version also covers both 2D and 3D game development, and it uses Unity scripting. So those were also lots of questions that we got because we weren't necessarily covering 2D game development before, and Unity scripting was not as solidly in there. And so this is a more kind of comprehensive game development experience in Unity. Again, super excited about it. I think it's a really well done course, and lots of great scaffolding, and students are building games. And so I feel like that alone is oftentimes engagement enough. But there are new engaging activity formats, and there's updated and new content in this course. And so again, we're really excited to get it in front of you all. The date on this one is also TBD. It's close, but still in development. And so we'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. There is well, I didn't link to it, but there, if you are looking in the course catalog, this course is out there. Same with the cybersecurity course. If you click on it, you have the opportunity, it's a coming soon in the catalog, you have the opportunity to express your interest in it. So you can put your email in, and we'll be sure to get in touch as soon as it's available. Again, it is geared for this summer so that you will have a chance to take a look at it prior to the school year starting. The other thing, and I think a lot of what drove this update, in addition to adding more support and updating the Unity version and just making it a more comprehensive course, was that in this new version, we will be aligned to 3 Unity certifications. So depending on maybe a CTE program of interest, or just generally students who are interested in maybe pursuing this as a career, getting early certifications is always great for that. And this course will support 3 different Unity certifications. So again, depending on even your student interest within game development, the artist certification, the programmer certification, and VR development is all covered in this course. The modules in this course, so we have game design as a starting point, the history of video games, MDA framework as a tool to analyze and design. Students look at game mechanics, designing accessible games, and creating basic game documentation. And then they're introduced to Unity, the game engine, types of game engines, what are they, what are the benefits and considerations when you're selecting one. They learn how to import and set up assets, in Unity itself, setting up the code editor, and then importing scripts. So practicing that sort of back and forth between our platform and Unity, smoothing that process, hopefully. Unity scripting basics. So again, this was something that we got a lot of questions about in the last version, much more cleanly covered here. It's a very intentional coverage of teaching students C# scripting. And so covering functions, variables, defining classes, developing 2D games. This was another ask that we saw a lot of, and a gap that we saw in, especially for some of the Unity certifications. So covering both 2D and 3D games in our course this time. So 3D game development, including physics and character animation, gameplay, sound effects, lighting effects, and then a project. So students will develop their own game while following the complete process. So a very structured and scaffolded, like from thinking about your game and the mechanics of the game. And there's lots of game vocabulary, like just learning kind of the whole environment and technology as they're creating their own game. So a chance for creativity as well. Then there's a bit about virtual reality and releasing the game that they build into a VR environment, exploring the industry. So again, exploring careers, game studios, ethical practices in game development. And then the final module is game jam. So students learn about game jams. They can host one, they can join one. And it's really about, creating this community of students interested in gaming and, showing off their skills and getting feedback. And it's a great experience as well. So I'm going to give you, again, 5 minutes to poke around, highlighting again. So there are 2 modules in this. This is the same course that you looked at when you were looking at cyber. So if you already joined that section, you're good. You just look at the game development modules. They're towards the bottom. There's 2 modules there that'll give you just a little sampling of the content in this course. So let's come back in 5 minutes. You can poke around again. I know we didn't talk about Unreal. We'll come back for that, but take 5 minutes. If you have questions, thoughts, put them in the chat, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about AI. So if those of you are still looking for it, the content is these last two modules in that same course section that we looked at for cyber. So if you're in your course, this VirtualCon 2024 course content sampling, these first modules, you can see those are cyber related, and then the last two are the game development. Okay. Well, again, this course section will remain open to you. So definitely time to go back and look at those in more detail as you like. Right now, this course is not quite ready for a preview. So although for cyber, we are making it available sooner rather than later for your feedback, this course is not quite there yet. So again, it is in the course catalog. You can, there's a coming soon page. You can put in your email address and get notified as soon as it's available. So if you're interested and are hoping to jump in sooner rather than later, give us your email there and we'll be sure to be in touch. The other thing I was going to mention is I saw in the chat, somebody had mentioned the Unreal versus Unity conversation. And I think, you know, our developers are also super interested in all things gaming. And we've had the debate about Unreal and Unity ourselves. I think what's great and sort of what pushed us to Unity is the certification aspect. So those certifications that I mentioned are geared for high school students. They are you know, really industry standard Unity certifications for high school students. And because, you know, if you're interested in game development and or if you're in a CTE program that is looking for industry certifications for this particular course, we will be aligned with those in a way that Unreal just didn't provide. And so it does sort of push us in that direction for Unity. And like I said, I think what's great about this new version of the course is that there's so much more scaffolding and support built in. And so if your students have struggled in the past with, you know, moving between the two, or sometimes it's hard to figure out because of course Unity can change their interface and it's not always obvious maybe how those changes impact instructions. You know, we just have done a lot more hands-on preemptive support in this course that will hopefully help your students. But as somebody else noted, it's not just available in a web page. You'll need to be able to download the Unity application into students' computers. All right, AI content. So we have a few minutes left here. And as Jeremy mentioned in his session earlier, and in fact, one of the areas that people had expressed interest in getting out of this conference is the discussion of AI. I know I was in the last session where we discussed the tools that teachers can use to help make their lives easier, the ways that they can help use these tools to improve student learning. And we ourselves are building courses and projects and AI experiences for students to give them a sense of you know, what it is and how it works and all of those things. I would say, again, this is an area where we are very, very interested in your feedback to better understand what it is you all are looking for, what would be most helpful in your classrooms, both in terms of topics, but also duration and how you're hoping to tackle it. So always interested in hearing from you about these things. So the content that we have is coming soon. We are going to have offerings for both middle school and high school, flexible courses and projects. So trying to make it fairly modular so that while there may be a full course, if you're looking for a quarter-long course or a semester-long course, have enough content for you if that's what you're looking for, but also this ability to kind of separate it out, make it flexible and modular. So if you're just looking for 5 hours of exposure or 10 hours of exposure, you'll have some options there too. Variety of topics and tools. And so, and some of the offerings will have a coding component to it, and others will just be concept and tool exploration. So let me not jump ahead, but I was going to mention, so the topics that we are planning to cover are the things that maybe are what we hear about most, maybe what you hear about most, but like, what is AI? What is machine learning? What's supervised and unsupervised learning? What are the risks of AI? What are the benefits of AI? Considerations in models and bias in those models. And then going from there into hands-on exploration. So, students can work with some of these tools. We do know that, in some cases, as we've referenced already, sometimes the tools are blocked in some schools. And then, so we're trying to provide, if you are able to access these tools, if your students are able to access these tools, you'll have some options there. If those tools are blocked, there's some more specialized tools that maybe you would be able to access. There's Google Teachable Machine, or some things that are narrowed from ChatGPT, or maybe very specific models that are available through specific websites that your students may be able to access. But if all of those are sort of not available to you, there will still be concept exploration, discussion materials, unplugged activities, things like that, that still will make it valuable for your students, because it's in the news so much, it's everywhere all the time now. And so the more we can help students understand what it is, how it works, pros and cons, all of those things, the better. So those courses are also coming soon. There will be a more significant AI launch by CodeHS with lots of the offerings that have been talked about today. So PD offerings and these modules and projects and webinars and all kinds of opportunities like that for you to get more involved and get more information. So we're not going to preview it all here today, but wanted to at least give you a sense for what we're building, what we're thinking about. Again, recommend and suggest and hope that you will give us feedback and let us know if we're not meeting your needs, or if you want more of something that we have, great. So that's really it for new content. I know there's probably more questions in the chat. We'll be taking a look. If you haven't gotten your answers, we'll be in touch, but hopefully we've at least addressed some of them here. And I'll open it up, I guess, again, if you have questions, or Lindsay, if there's anything in the chat that we should cover now.
Just another question about the coming soon section to put in interest for the Unity game design. So if that's something you want to.
Oh yeah, let me see if you go to the course catalog for CodeHS and you search on Unity, oh yeah, it's not there yet. It is coming soon, but yes, sorry, we have it ready, so it will be out there. You should be able to go to the course catalog, search on Unity, and you will see it is game development in Unity, and you'll be able to put your email in and sign up for more information. So before you all go, I know you've probably heard it a million times already, but please fill out the survey for the session. I think there's a survey link in the chat now. So certainly, as always, look forward to your feedback on these courses or others, and hopefully we'll see you in the next session.